My dear listeners, tensions are escalating in Gaza due to continuous missile exchanges. In a recent turn of events, Hamas retaliated with missile assaults on two notable Israeli cities. On October 26, the Israel Defense Forces struck back with airstrikes in Gaza, resulting in the demise of 5 key Hamas leaders, including the deputy chief of Hamas intelligence, Shadi Barut. Speculation is rife that Barut played a significant role in planning attacks on Israel, under the guidance of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. In a countermove, Hamas held Israel responsible for the death of 50 hostages. This incident was confirmed by the Times of Israel on October 26, which reported the Israeli military's assault in Gaza, leading to the death of influential Hamas members. Moreover, Israel's military officially announced the neutralization of Hassan An Abdullah, the head of the rocket in Khan Yunis. Simultaneously, Israel stated its fighter jets had targeted and killed 3 senior commanders from Hamas's Deir's Tufa unit, an integral part of the Hamas's Gaza City Brigade. Israel's continued airstrikes over Gaza, under the operation codenamed Iron Sword, have been ongoing for weeks but have not entirely disabled Hamas's warfare capabilities. Despite these attacks, Hamas continues to launch a significant number of rockets from Gaza into extending cities within Israel. A report from AFP on October 26 stated that around 50 Israeli hostages taken during the October 10 assault had lost their lives. However, the authenticity of this claim is yet to be corroborated. Further, the Israel Defense Forces previously reported that a Hamas attack on October 7 had resulted in the tragic death of about 1,400 individuals, most of them civilians, with 224 being captured by Hamas Israeli spokesperson Daniel Hagar, indicates that the hostage count fluctuates based on intelligence data, and their release is Israel's highest priority. On October 26, Palestinian health sources reported an increase in casualties with over 500 deaths and 1,000 injuries due to Israel's recent assaults. It takes October's casualty toll to a staggering 7,000 deaths and 19,000 injuries, with civilians being the majority of the victims. A day of significant activity was witnessed at the Rafah border crossing that bridges Egypt's Sinai Peninsula to Gaza. On this particular day, no less than 12 international aid convoys made their journey through. These convoys were laden with a myriad of essentials: medical supplies, medicines, food, and other items critical for survival. Since the skirmishes reared their ugly head on October 10, we've seen a total of 74 convoys of assistance surge into Gaza. However, international humanitarian organizations argue that these efforts are merely a drop in the ocean, compared to the profound needs of the region's nearly 2.5 million residents. In the midst of escalating hostilities between Israel and Gaza's Hamas, a bold announcement was made by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He publicly declared Israel's preparedness to launch a ground invasion into Gaza, yet remained cryptic about the specifics of the timing. With a solemn promise, he assured that Israel would leave no stone unturned in their attempts to liberate hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Interestingly, this declaration was made amidst whispers that Israel had reached an agreement with the United States to postpone the planned ground invasion over the weekend. Netanyahu also ordained a national day of mourning and remembrance in honor of the victims of the October 7 attack, thereby emphasizing the grave reality that Israel is currently in a fight for its very existence. In these trying times, the global brotherhood is coming together to lend a helping hand to the inhabitants of Gaza, caught in the crossfire of the ongoing conflict. As per a telephonic dialogue between the UAE president and Germany's premier, it was emphasized that Israel's right to defend itself is paramount, with equal importance placed on the protection of innocent civilians, ensuring their accessibility and delivery of humanitarian aid to the afflicted residents of Gaza. Meanwhile, the UK's finance minister expressed his intentions to negotiate a temporary respite in the strife to facilitate aid distribution. However, his stance on a complete ceasefire remained reserved, as he fears it may unduly benefit Hamas. Voices from the US, Russia, and the international community are joining in the chorus, demanding a humanitarian pause in the hostilities between Israel and Hamas. This will allow for smoother delivery of aid to Gaza, where the Palestinian community faces dire circumstances. The UN Secretary-General, Antonio Guterres, too, has called for an immediate halt to the conflict in Gaza, which has been on the rise for nearly 3 weeks. After an incursion on October 10 by Hamas, Israel has retaliated with several days of concentrated airstrikes. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry in Gaza, over 6,500 lives have been lost due to these attacks, The situation is rapidly deteriorating, and we are caught in a battle for survival. We have two main goals: to weaken Hamas by eroding its military and administrative apparatus, and to exhaust all efforts to rescue our hostages. Our campaign against Hamas is unyielding, and this is just the beginning. We have plans for a ground offensive. The specifics of when, how, or the strength of the force remains confidential, as our decisions will be shaped by the developing situation. Our commitment lies in creating the most favorable conditions for our soldiers in the upcoming operations. We encourage our residents to move to the southern part of Gaza. Since the conflict's inception, we have formed 600 volunteer defense groups. We are sourcing armaments from overseas and plan on intensifying this effort. We urge civilians to arm themselves in self-defense. Scores of nations continue their relentless efforts to provide humanitarian aid to the distressed civilians in Gaza. We appreciate your attention and bid you farewell.